YouTube channel members and patrons. Hello there, and welcome to my first official Patreon and YouTube channel member exclusive content. This is something that I've been considering for a while, and it's kind of been thrown to the forefront with the revelation that Ash is leaving the anime. Now, while I am sad to see him go, the fact of the matter is, this is long overdue. Unfortunately, things kinda are being left unfinished, and it's because we've had 25 plus years of the Pokemon anime that haven't really been consolidated into a cohesive story. They do make callbacks, slight retcons here and there, but overall, they try to keep each individual generation isolated to their own gen, so to speak. And for me, that's kind of a sad thing as somebody who likes to see the building on previous things. So with that being said, I've decided to use the power of hindsight and take on the Pokemon anime as a whole for you guys and your viewing pleasure. I'm going to try to make this a monthly series just for you guys. The way it's going to work is I'm going to keep this as Patreon and YouTube channel member exclusive access until I finish each region, which means only you guys can view it for however long it takes me to finish the region. I'm planning maybe a year per region. Once we move on to the next generation, that's when they'll start going out to regular YouTube, which means you guys will have them exclusively for that entire time. With all that being said, I really hope that you guys enjoy the story that I have in store for you today. It's something I've given a lot of thought about, and my aim is to use the power that we have of being in the future and fix what happened in the past to make things more cohesive and make them make sense from the anime's perspective. But before we get into that, if you guys are watching this on YouTube for the first time, you know the drill. Check out the analytics, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and don't forget to like the video. Also, drop a comment. Let us know exactly what you thought. With all that being said, and all of the pleasantries out of the way, let's get into the very first episode of What If Ronin Charizard wrote the Pokemon anime. I hope you enjoy. So, one of many regions here in the Pokemon world, a place full of many mysteries, past, present, and future. Here in Kanto, there are many amazing creatures that are referred to as Pokemon. They have wonderful abilities to control the elements, bending nature to their will, all the while living in harmony with each other. It's really a spectacular sight, especially here in Kanto, because for some reason, up until a few hundred years ago, when modern humans decided to colonize the region, for whatever reason, Pokemon didn't seem to exist before that. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I think we need to check in with something a little bit more positive. So let's find the regional professor. Yeah, I forgot to mention, every region has a professor that studies a certain subject that's based on Pokemon. It's here we find Professor Oak, the one in charge of the region of Kanto. He studies the behaviors of Pokemon in a natural environment. However, that's not all he does. Oak is in charge of cultivating the future of the Pokemon world here in Kanto by introducing children to Pokemon and their many amazing abilities. In the spirit of this action, every summer, Professor Oak hosts a camp of sorts to introduce the residents of his hometown, Hallett, to the local wildlife. You see, the Oak Lab holds the Pokemon of traveling trainers, as well as playing home to many wild Pokemon that live in the forest surrounding the rural Pallet Town. It is here where our story actually begins. We find a group of young kids, eager for their week-long experience at Camp Oak. Let us introduce them, shall we? This is Damien, a local boy who is more into himself than others. This is Go, a young man who was sent from Vermilion City at the orders of his parents, though he's not really into the whole Pokemon thing, as he just doesn't see the mystery. This girl is Janine. Her father is one of the gym leaders of Kanto, who is in the local area for business. She shares his stoic demeanor. While this other little girl here is the exact opposite. Her name is Serena. Her mom is a professional Rhyhorn rider and is competing in a competition in Viridian City, so she's spending the week at the camp so she won't be bored. Then there's the prodigy himself, Mr. Stuck-Up Gary, the grandson of Professor Oak. He thinks because of his grandfather's status, he's automatically better than everyone else, even going as far as teasing people who he thinks less of. Then there's the person Gary teases the most. Wait, where is he? Oh no, don't tell me. Yep, he's still asleep. How is he always? No, I won't put him down, as this is our main character, Ash, who loves Pokemon more than anything. and is always late, as you can see here. Luckily, he has a lovely woman with the patience of a saint for a mother, Delia, who knows her son far too well. As she busts in Ash's room, yelling at him that he's going to be late. If he doesn't hurry up, the group will leave without him. Ash bursts from his bed and bolts from the house in a panic, chastising himself for oversleeping. Hopefully, he makes it in time. Back at the camp, Professor Oak finally joins the group of would-be trainers, but he's not alone. He introduces some last-minute guests. Reggie, powerful trainer from the Sinnoh region, and his younger brother Paul. Reggie is here in Kanto, challenging something called the Battle Frontier. As for Paul, unlike the rest of the kids here, he actually has a Pokemon. As his brother, Reggie is not only a trainer, but also a Pokemon breeder. So he gifted Paul a Turtwig for his 7th birthday, which just so happened to be a few days ago. While Reggie is outgoing and friendly, his young brother is the exact opposite, quiet and reserved. Unfortunately, they can only stay for a day, as Reggie has to challenge for his final frontier symbol. Professor Oak asks if everyone is here, to which Gary, wanting to spite Ash for being late, says that they are. Well then, how about we break into 2 groups, Oak says, asking Reggie if he will take half the kids while Oak takes the other half. Reggie doesn't mind this, taking Go, Serena, and Janine with him, while Oak takes Gary, Paul, and Damien. With the groups divided, they begin to head to the back of the Oak property, but are stopped by a faint yelling that can be heard off in the distance. Turning, Oak strains his eyes and ears to make out a small child sprinting across the grasslands of the Oak property. I felt like we were one short. Ash, my boy, you're late again. You really need to work on that. It could come back to bite you in the future. Out of breath, Ash tells Professor Oak that he's sorry. His alarm didn't go off and he overslept. Everyone just looks unsure of what to make of this boy. That is, except for Gary, who immediately teases Ash for his incompetence, saying he will always be behind him. This angers Ash, and he tries to defend himself, but Oak interrupts, telling the two to stop. Now that Ash is here, they have to decide on which team he will be on. Reggie says he wouldn't mind taking Ash, as it may not be a good idea for learning if he and Gary are on the same team. Oak agrees and tells Ash to join Reggie as they prepare to head down the path opposite of Oak and his team. Now, we flash back a few weeks before the summer camp. We see a peculiar Pokemon that's not native to the Kanto region. This is a Pichu, the baby form of a Pokemon that can be found in the Kanto region. Pikachu. It's strange. I wonder how one found its way into the wilds of Kanto. Remember when I said that up until a few hundred years ago, Pokemon didn't really exist in this part of the world? Well, breeders have been successful in introducing Pikachu into the wild, but for some unexpected reasons, a wild Pichu has never been found before. The reason is unclear, but this is a real treat for us. Why don't we follow it to see what the little guy is up to? Oh, what's this? The Pichu seems to have made a friend with another rare Pokemon, something usually not found outside of protected areas in the Kanto region, a Kangaskhan. Well, it seems the two little guys have become fast friends, and it seems even the mother has taken a liking to the little guy as well. Well, here's to a long, happy friendship. Now, we find ourselves back in the modern day with Reggie's group. The one called Go is telling Ash that Gary Kid was right. He seems too lazy to be here. This comment begins a brief argument between the two, which Serena meekly tries to stop, but this falls on deaf ears. All the while, Janina is talking with Reggie, asking about his abilities as a trainer. Reggie is happy to talk about himself, telling the young girl that he's been to Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, and Sinnoh for all of their championship leagues, and now he's back in Kanto for the Battle Frontier. Janine listens, as if nothing else matters, but secretly, she's trying to keep Reggie's attention divided, as a high-caliber trainer like him was not in the plans for today. If his attention is allowed to wander, then her mission could be in trouble. This distraction that Janine caused with Reggie does exactly that, as neither realized that the argument that Go and Ash were having caused them to get separated from the rest of the group, in which Serena, noticing that the two have disappeared, decides to leave Reggie and Janine to find the two bickering boys. Unfortunately, this was not a good idea on her part, as she has become lost in this massive forest. In her panic, she trips, hitting her knee and injuring her leg. This causes her to begin to cry. However, these events are only the beginning of her predicament, as the bush in front of her begins to rustle as something jumps out at the young girl. Now, we find ourselves with Ash and Go. The two are in mid-argument, which has become rather heated, but when Ash trips over a rock, Go can't help but laugh at him. Ash's face boils in rage, and he prepares to reignite the argument that they were having when Go asks Ash if he's seen Reggie or the others. Now looking around in confusion, Ash answers no. They must have gotten separated. It's here that Go blames Ash for getting them lost, only for Ash to remind him that Go was the one who started the argument in the first place. Go quiets down, though he's still a bit mad. It's here that Ash sees a Pokemon. Hey, I have a pencil sharpener like that in my room. It's a Poliwag. It's here that Ash takes off after it, as Poliwag is the first actual Pokemon that he's actually seen. This leaves Go alone, yelling for Ash not to leave him, but this does nothing. Now with tears running down his face, the 6-year-old begins to wail in panic from being lost in the woods. But a sound catches the attention of Go. Opening his eyes, he can only make out the silhouette of something due to his tears before it takes off. Wiping the tears, Go chases after whatever he saw, in hopes to make it back to the group. Since everyone has ran off, why don't we check back in with the baby Pichu and friends? Well, look at this. They seem to be playing, enjoying life and the sunshine. Even the Kangaskhan have come out to play. Today is going to be another great day. That is, it was going to be. This is when the tranquil mood is shattered, as a group of humans descends on the place that Pikachu has come to call home. These humans are attacking the Pichu's family, throwing these strange orbs that capture the Kangaskhan. Pikachu and his baby friend panic as their mother tells them to hide. It will defend them at all costs. Taking cover in a small cave, the two watch as the humans invade their home, as they can do nothing. It eventually comes down to the mother who is being attacked by a horde of these humans. What's worse is the humans are using other Pokemon to help with the captures. Pichu and the baby Kangaskhan watch as the same fate befalls their mother. Pichu is scared. It can't move. If they leave the safety of their hideaway, then they too will be caught. On the other hand, the baby Kangaskhan won't stand for the capture of its mother. It steps forward, calling out the humans and their dastardly deeds. However, this only triggers a laugh, as the humans can't take it seriously. Now, we follow up with Serena, as she is panicking only for a Poliwag to jump out at her. This brings a little bit of relief, as it just wanders off. Unfortunately, this is only temporary, as the bushes once more start to move, causing Serena to scream in hysteria. Luckily for her though, it's only Ash, who sees her losing her mind. Knowing he needs to do something, Ash begins to talk her down, turning what was intelligible babbling into a slow murmur, as Serena tells Ash that she hurt her leg. Ash then pulls out a cloth and proceeds to bind the area that Serena hit, in hopes to make her feel better. This doesn't really work, so Ash just offers her a hand to help Serena to her feet, while telling her to never give up. It's not over till it's over. Serena doesn't know what it is, but a strange sense of calm has washed over her, and instantly she knows everything will be alright. See, I told you it would be better, Ash says. Now come on, I'll help you go find the others. This isn't where we follow up with Go. He's been wandering aimlessly for some time, but he keeps hearing that sound, like it's leading him. If he strays off the path, then it will guide him back onto the direction that he should be going. This eventually brings Go to a river that runs very fast. On the other side is a sheer cliff that towers over the boy. As he looks up, the sun catches his eye, only for a silhouette of a Pokemon to appear in it. Squinting, the Pokemon eventually comes into focus. This Pokemon then moves towards him in a playful manner. Go watches as it gracefully levitates around him. "You're odd," he says. "I've never met a Pokemon like you." This Pokemon simply laughs, using its telepathic powers to tell Go that its name is Mew, and it's very glad to meet the boy. Then Go puts it all together. "It was you, wasn't it? The one who led me out of the forest." Mew again laughs, confirming this. Go tries to ask another question, but the happy tone of the moment is shattered when another Pokemon attacks the two. Though he doesn't really like Pokemon, Go knows what this one is. A Pinsir. It's extremely aggressive, like they have invaded its territory. Mew begins to dodge, not wanting to hurt the bug type, but Pinsir isn't taking the hint that they mean no harm. The exchange between the two Pokemon becomes violent, as a voice from the woods tells Pinsir to attack the boy. Suddenly, Go finds himself in his line of sight, ready to crack him in two with the giant pincers on its head. Go panics as he runs for what could be his very short life. Luckily, Mew doesn't let any harm come to the boy, as it's trapped the aggressive beetle in a bubble of psychic energy. Then, without warning, a flash of light consumes the area, only for Mew and Go to have both gone. It's here that a hooded figure steps out from the shadows, recalling his Pinsir. Damn, he thinks. Each time we track it down, it's one step ahead of us. Now, we find ourselves back with the baby Kangaskhan. It is putting up a valiant effort in hopes of freeing its mother. It's even to the point to where it's managed to knock out some of the opposing Pokemon. But the humans tire of this as they command their Raticates to end the little hero. That is, until they are told to wait. Out of nowhere, the hooded man appears with his Pinsir. "I'll take this one," he says. The hooded figure orders his Pinsir in, starting another battle. The man gives no commands to his bug, only watching. Then, his eyes light up as the baby demonstrates something that it shouldn't know. With its health low, the baby Kangaskhan uses a move it's far too young to know, Reversal, with a speed that even impresses the ninja. It works around Pinsir, grabbing it and suplexing the beetle right into the cave wall. While the power is impressive, it becomes apparent that the level of the two Pokemon differ too much, as Pinsir stands up only for the baby to collapse from exhaustion. One of the grunts readies a Pokeball, only to be stopped by their boss. "Wait, this one I will take to the master personally." Grabbing the tyke, the ninja throws it in a cage. Now, the group readies to head off, but there's one more thing they will have to tend to before they leave, as the Pichu has made its presence known, attacking the pincer out of pure frustration. This catches both the ninja and pincer off guard, as the bug is struck with a thunder shock that causes an instant paralysis. Seeing this, the ninja recalls the beetle so he can send in something even more deadly, a Pokemon known as Venomoth. With the new opponent, Pichu uses its small size to dodge the attacks, slowly making its way outside into the open. This is the place that it'll have the greatest chance. Unfortunately, its chance isn't really that great, as it is struck with a Psybeam when the attack becomes too much for it to keep up with. Now down, and it's starting to rain, Pikachu can do nothing but hear the cries of its friend as the ninja prepares a cage for it. The pressure of the moment is too much, and as the hooded man reaches out for Pichu, a bolt of lightning strikes down, hitting Pichu, causing it to glow in an evolutionary light. This blinds everyone, only for the newly evolved Pikachu to fall off the cliffside they are on into the river below. One of the grunts asks if they should pursue it, but their boss says no. Enough time has been wasted. They must return to the base. Over with Go, he opens his eyes, and he is in the middle of a trail. Unsure of what to think, he begins to call for Mew, but the sound that he heard before is gone. It is then that Ash and Serena come into view, and they rush to Go's side. "Hey, is everything alright?" Serena asks. Go just nods, choosing to keep what happened to himself, unsure if it really happened or if it was just a dream. The three then begin to make their way back to Professor Oak, along the way meeting up with a very panicked Reggie and a very aggravated Janine. Once Reggie gives the trio a good look over to make sure he doesn't get his trainer's license revoked, he asks the group if they can keep their separation a secret so that they don't all get in trouble. They all agree, being that a 5, 6, and 7-year-old only want to please adults. They then head back to get out of the ring. Over with Professor Oak, he is standing at the trailhead leading off of his property, wondering if Reggie's group is alright. Gary, Paul, and Damien are all inside the house out of the rain. It was a mistake to split up, Oak thinks, as he is prepared to go out and find them. But his attention is divided when a Pikachu falls out of a bush onto the trail right in front of him. "Whoa, what happened to you?" Oak asks. This Pikachu is severely injured. Oak tries to pick it up, but Pikachu begins to spark, preparing to attack Oak. "So, you don't trust humans, do you? Well, I can't just leave you out here to get even worse. Like it or not, you're coming with me." Then, the old-timer throws a ball at Pikachu, catching it with little resistance. As Oak picks up the ball, Reggie and the rest of the kids emerge from the trail, much to the relief of the old man. "I'm sorry, Professor. We got sidetracked seeing a really unique Pokemon." "Oh, is that so? What did you see?" Reggie gets nervous, but Ash comes to the rescue as he describes the Poliwag that he saw. Then, the professor asks Go if he saw anything. Looking back at the forest, Go just says no, then walks inside. With all of that out of the way, we now find ourselves north of Pallet Town in Viridian City. There appears to be some sort of competition finishing up as a businessman watches on. The horn is blown as the race comes to an end. With a smirk, the sharply dressed man praises himself for his fine sponsorship. This rider will make him a lot of money. Now we find ourselves in the winner's circle with the rider that brought home the gold. This is Serena's mom, Grace, the Rhyhorn rider from the Kalos region. She accepted a sponsorship from the wealthiest man in all of Kanto. The offer was too good to pass up, so she has come to Kanto to compete in the Rhyhorn riding circuit. As Grace gives the interview, she thanks her new sponsor, who just so happens to join them. This is Giovanni, who just so happens to also be the leader of the Viridian Gym. The interviewer asks Kanto's most powerful gym leader if he has any plans for this upcoming gym season. "Well, I guess this is as good a time as any. I would like to formally announce my plans to challenge the Indigo League. As Kanto's most powerful gym leader, I see new and up-and-coming talent every day, like Grace here, who gets a chance to make their dreams come true. So I think it's time for me to as well. So I, Giovanni, leader of the Viridian Gym, now aim to take the position as Kanto's most powerful trainer, the champion." This news sets the crowd ablaze with questions about this declaration, but Giovanni tells them that if they wish for more information, they will have to schedule time with his assistant, Matori. Speak of the devil, Matori is present, with an urgent call that Giovanni must excuse himself to take. Taking the call, the once pleasant gym leader turns stern in his demeanor. "Excuse me, I have an urgent matter I must attend to." With that, Giovanni leaves Matori to deal with the news hounds, thirsty for any blood that they can get. Now at the Viridian Gym, we find ourselves below, in a very secret base of operations. Giovanni is present, as the hooded ninja from earlier appears before him. "I'm sorry, Master. We lost track of Mew." Giovanni seems angered by this, but not surprised. He then addresses the masked man by name. "Koga, no matter. I have a different job for you." But before the master can speak, Koga tells him that he has brought a gift for their farrier, presenting the baby Kangaskhan they have captured. Its demonstrated power far beyond its age, the ninja says. However, Giovanni just brushes this off. "I see we we must fill your time until Mew reappears. Giovanni then throws a file to the ninja. Koga opens it, reading what appears on the first page. But Master, the Galar region? That is so far away, and the gym season is about to start. Well then, I guess you had better gather your men and hurry. Team Rocket will not wait. And this is where we are going to leave our part for now. So, with the first episode of What If I Wrote the Pokemon Anime out of the way, I just have a couple of questions for you guys. How did you guys feel about this first episode? What do you think the direction is going to be moving forward? How do you feel about Giovanni making the run for the champion of Kanto? And of course, why is he sending Koga to the Galar region? Let me know in the comments down below. Trainers, today, the Pokemon we met are Raticate, Pikachu, Zubat, Venomoth, Poliwag, Rhyhorn, Pinsir, Pichu, Kangaskhan, and Turtwig. And that's all we have for this episode today, guys. I really appreciate you guys watching, and I really hope you consider following me for future content. Now, if you really want to support me on other platforms, please hop on over to my Discord where you can meet some like-minded people and conversate with them and me. You can also follow me on Twitter, to where I post sometimes and give you behind-the-scenes content that I'm currently working on. And if you want to go a little bit further, consider becoming a YouTube channel member or a patron. For only $5 a month, you're going to get up to a week's early access to all of my videos, plus you'll get exclusive content as well. With all that being said, it's time to sign out the video the best way we know how, by thanking the sponsors, the YouTube channel members, and the patrons. For the YouTube channel members, we have Still There123, Irua Karina, Pickle, ASTD. And for the patrons, we have Silver Heart Soul, Robert, Vegito Gaming 78, Andrew McCartney, Holosif, Julian Rodriguez, Ruben Watson, Lord Explosion Murder, Assassin 139, Flyer 943, Shadow Dragon, K McKnight, Kevin Atran, Drax, Truevolt, Dino King, Warren E. Taylor, Plus Ultraman, Megger, Mike Logan, Eddie, Kendall Green, Earth Dragon, John Larson, Forbidden Super, Dylan Nicholson, Gerald Smith, Normandy 1998, Chris Lackerman, Trainer Rad 164, Robert, Johnny, Brad 1, Ifosa Amid, Indigo Saturn 64, Kevin Malula, Chris Collins, Nicholas Onthank, Christian Anderson, Thomas Watson, Justin Ray, Gray Leo, Irving 14209, Nathan Perry, TC Com, Dylan, Wolfdog 31, and Mario Pikachu. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.